Hello, it's Swallow here. Now, today's video focuses around what does it feel like living with the EQC after 8,000 miles. After 8,000 miles on the clock, what is my ownership verdict? Those of you who have been following my videos for a while now, thank you very much. It's a pleasure having this journey with you guys. Without you, this wouldn't have happened. I remember just about 3 months ago when I started. Is it 3 months? No, sorry. Maybe about 5 months, 6 months. I think I've owned the car for about 8 months now. I think I started about 2 months after I've got the car. When my daughter asked me if I wanted to start a blog to basically document my ownership experience. And I think maybe about 4 or 5 months, I'm not sure. I'm going to find out when I posted my first video. What I realized was that, I had one subscriber, and it was just myself, basically, because of my other accounts that subscribed to the new my EQC Life. I think I changed it to my EV Life eventually, because I was thinking if I get another EV, I might have to change again anyway. So now we are on maybe nearly 170 subscribers. So that is impressive. I'm doing this just for the pleasure of it. It's a great distraction for me when it comes to my life, my family life, my work life. It's something that I love to do. So how has it been in the last 8 months? I got in April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. This is December the 14th, getting to Christmas. So how does it feel like driving the EQC? As you can tell, I'm smiling. This is a ridiculously, elegantly, refined car that is built for comfort. You drive around towns, around cities, around cities to cities on the motorways, as though you are not driving around. The comfort level, I believe, in my opinion, that the Mercedes has overcompensated for the level of comfort, because they wanted to over-deliver, being the first all-electric car that Mercedes will be rolling out. And because of that, you realize that, I need to tap that. So, because of that, you realize that the level of the level of comfort that was packed in this car is beyond measure. You notice this the most when you travel. When you travel for a long trip, in some cars you have to stretch, you have to move around, you have to wiggle your way through the journey. When it comes to the EQC, you hardly can move around. If you set your sitting position, okay, you drive for hours, you are jumping up and ready to go again. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous, because I've had other cars, and they are not like this. The level of reinforcement, whatever they've done, is transformed this car into a colossal of comfort and luxury. So what's the verdict? I love it even more every day. I love it even stronger every day, because it's just a lovely car to travel around. Not too big, not too small. It's quick, super quick. I mean, quick enough for me, about 4.9 seconds for 60 miles sprint for between 0 to 60 miles. So if that is not quick, I don't know what being quick is. So it's been a joy, a joy to drive. And of course, you don't see a lot of this car around yet. I know the demand is picking up. Mercedes is beginning to reap the reward of the EQC. You know, the EQC came into the market. Almost nobody knew about it. I mean, there was not a massive advertising because of the lockdown. It came just before the lockdown and kind of fizzled out into the lockdown narrative. But now people are beginning to evaluate their options. They realize that if you want to drive a luxury, I want to just make sure that it's okay. Now, if you want to drive a luxury electric car, this is the car that's going to be in your contention. This is the car that's going to be in contention if you are looking for premium electric cars. And because of that, more and more people are buying the EQC. Now, I got the sports version, and the good thing about the sports version is that you don't see a lot of them around, which is quite unique. Now, I like this shape better than the AMG line version, even though the AMG line is more expensive. But I like this because I've traveled far and near, all over the place, and I see the AMG line a lot, which is fantastic. The same car, but it just different specs and specification options, and the capacity at which you could climb with regards to speccing your car up. But it's the same car, the baseline, the same car. So I love driving this around. It's unique. It's head turning, and the fact that you have the badge there, that badge takes some beating, in my opinion. It takes some beating, in my opinion, and it's not just the badge. It's the delivery of the car. It's what the car gives to you on a daily basis, which is fantastic. Now, I want to talk to you about I want to actually be very frank about the costing of this car, because talking about the ownership experience, I want to be talking about how much is this experience costing me? Because this is the main thing for many people. How much is this experience of driving an EQC around costing me? And I remember getting the deal in April. I thought I got the best deal in the market because I did a bit of research. But it's still not cheap. It wasn't cheap. I think the deposit was about £4,500, British pounds. £4,500. You have to deposit that. Now, I searched around at the moment. The mileage deal around at that time was around 5,000 miles per annum, per year. 5,000 miles. I was like, this is ridiculous. I drive the average of 20,000 miles pre-COVID. What COVID has made us to rearrange our business, and we are now doing a whole bunch online. So that's reduced the travel range, but I still do at least 12,000. Or 15,000, between 12 to 15,000. What's going to happen? So that means if I only travel 5,000 miles as part of the contract. By the way, I'm going to tell you how much I'm paying every month in a minute. If I only travel for 5,000 and my range contract runs out, then that means I'm going to pay for the extra mileage traveled. And in my own case, even if I travel about, let's say 12,000 a year, which is maybe the average now as I'm looking at it, because now this is the 8th month and I've done 8,000 miles. No, what am I talking about? Is it 10 months? 8 months, yes. 8 months I've done I've done since April. This is December. I've done 10,000. Sorry, I've done 8,000 miles. So I've got four more, 4 more months to go to complete my first year owning the EQC. At least I'm going to I'm going to drive another 4,000. Even if I'm very conservative, there's no way I would do less than 12,000 given my work condition, my family situation, and just my driving culture. So now look at this. I paid 23 pence. Now, those of you who are in the United Kingdom, if you want to comprise your own prices with me, maybe I got conned. I paid 23 pence per extra mileage driven. So if I drive 7,000 extra a year, 23 pence multiplied by 7,000, possibly that would get me to about 1,600 pounds extra that I have to pay. Maybe 1,700 pounds extra a year. Now, this is on a 4-year lease contract. So I know I'm going to do similar mileage throughout my contract tenure. So 1,600 multiplied by 4. So I'm going to have to fork out about 6,500 or so at the end of the contract. Why? Because I'm driving the EQC, I'm driving an electric car. Now you might want to justify that by saying, well, maybe I can save on electricity, but so far so good. It's cheaper than the fuel, than the combustion engine fuel. But it's not that the difference is not that great. Trust me, the difference is not that great. Because if you travel a lot, they rip you off at the public stations. You pay between 30 pence all the way to 69 pence for Ionity, what is it called? Ionity charger, fast chargers. Although the EQC comes to the app, the Mercedes-Me app that gives you the discount for Ionities. It reduces it to 15 pence or sometimes 25 pence. I don't know why the difference. You don't know what you get, the reduction you get, basically. But it does knock off a significant amount. So that is good news. But if you are counting on how much you will save with the fuel, with regards to your fuel cost, you're going to be able to save some, but you might not be able to recoup all your money back. So that boils down to, why am I driving my EQC? Well, it's because I'm crazy. It's because maybe I just love, premium stuff like every other person does. Maybe because I'm good for the environment. I want to help the environment out. But that is not convincing enough to me, because I don't have to kill myself trying to be good to the environment. It's good that it's very refreshing. We have another car in our household. Anytime I want to go somewhere and my wife is not using this car, my wife now uses the EQC a lot more because she feels more comfortable driving it. So I see the diesel engine car over there. I see the EQC over there. I want to do a 15 miles journey to the other side of the town to go and get some stuff. What would you like to use? Your natural mind, your conservative mind, your preservative mind navigates very quickly towards the EQC. So you realize that you start to become conscious of the environment. Why should I burn the fuel? The fuel of the car when I can be carbon neutral, even more carbon neutral, zero carbon. Well, to some extent. So it has that very powerful, appealing feature, because you know that you're growing. But another thing is just the way it makes you feel. I think that is what I want to put my money on. The way the EQC makes me feel. I don't know whether I can put that much money I'm spending on the contract on just the feeling. But I tell you what, it's very close. It's the feeling that I'm paying for. I'm just being sincere, not because it's good for the environment. Well, it's good for the environment and all that. But for me to be able to justify this, it's going to have to be how it makes me feel. Driving around to work everywhere. By the way, I'm just on traffic right now. You feel pampered. And I've used that word very carefully. You feel pampered. Yes, so Mercedes, you got something right here. It could just be the way the whole setup is laid out. The quietness which, all electric cars share. But there's something about the responsiveness with this car. You eventually become bonded with this car. You look around you and it all exudes luxury. And the feeling that you're driving a Mercedes. It's fantastic. It's fantastic. So I'll justify with that. So if you're considering the EQC, possibly because you know that you are within that bracket of opportunity where you could shop for luxury cars. So would I recommend it? I would recommend it to 47. Now the way the car looks actually divides opinion. Okay, I understand that. Even I myself, sometimes I get confused. Do I like this car when I come out of my house, or don't I like it? But eventually, it's not irritating to live with regards to how it looks, and depending on the angle you're looking at, you're smiling. But there's not any angle whatsoever that is disgusting. It's just different, and I like the difference. I like the way the whole thing is packaged. It is not an off-roader, because the ground. Oh, that was a nasty bottle. Now the ground clearance is not good. It's not that good. It's adequate for the roads, but you can't go off-road. So basically, if you really, depending on because of the money I've spent on this car, I trade this car as if it is a normal car, not an SUV. It's just like a car in front of me right there. A VW Polo. With regards to the ground clearance. So don't, if you are parking on an undulated hilly place, you want to make sure that you get your angle right, because you might be surprised. You might scratch the floor. But we've got a whole bunch of cars around the world that are very low with regards to the ground clearance. So you don't have to worry about that. Just make sure that you're careful. But this car is built for the roads. It's not built for the off-road. So apart from that, the way it makes me feel, the way it preserves my energy, the way it transforms my entire commuting experience, it's actually very, very eye-opening. Very, very eye-opening, really. Now it comes down to the money. So this car, the base price for this car is around 67,000, over 67,000. Now that's a lot of money. Now I'm paying. I've deposited, I think, 4,500. I don't have the exact figures here with me, but at least 4,500. Then I'm paying how much? So the 23 pence for the extra mileage, which I've calculated. So I'm possibly going to pay about £6,500 at the end of my lease contract in maybe a little bit over 3 years' time. Okay, then the monthly payment, which runs for 48 months, was around £600. Now, just a little bit over 600 pounds, maybe still around 12, just around 8 or something. Now, I like you guys who are watching me who are considering buying the EQC at the moment in the United Kingdom. Or if you're listening to me in Europe, in America, wherever, and you can convert the price based on what I've just told you, £4,500 deposit, 600, let's say just 610 or something. 610, 600. Let's say 600. It's not up to 10. Maybe 602 or 603. Let's just say 600. £600 a month, British pounds. With regards to your own deal or what you're looking at, if you are shopping around for one, what are the figures? Did I get a good deal, or do you think there are other better deals out there that I've missed because of the time that I got my EQC? Of course, there might be other options that a lot of you, the different options that you might get your car through. But if you do the calculation, you could still figure out how much it's costing. You might get it through the work scheme. You know, if you work for the NHS, the National Health Services here in the United Kingdom, you get some discounts. So you have different loopholes of saving money if you want to drive electric cars. But with regards to the deals out there right now, and those of you considering getting in the EQC, or those of you who already have your EQC, if you don't mind, not everybody would like to share the financial details. I don't mind. I don't mind because that could help other people out. So if you want to share that, just put it in the comments below. But what I'm saying is that apart from the way this car makes me feel, the badge, and just the luxury aspect of it, you know, there are other cars who can deliver even much more range, but I don't care about range. I care about how the car makes me feel. Life is short. I want to be able to drive something I'm happy to get into every day. But that might not be your own goal. Your goal might be to save money, to be very prudent, and to get the maximum amount of range possible. And if that is yours, why don't you consider the cheaper alternatives? You know, we have the ID4, which is, you know, depending on the battery range that you get, it could actually be, you know, the base price for that is about 41,500. This is the EQC is 67,000, the base price, and the ID4 could be, the base price for that could be is around 41,500, and it's similar to the Mustang Mach-E that is about 42,000. Talking about the starting price, these are great cars, and they actually deliver more range based on the WLTP. Of course, it depends on how you drive it. What about, you know, the smaller one, my favorite, the ID3? I think that is, you know, if you don't mind what you drive, you just want to be green, you just want to be efficient, go for the ID3, and you don't need a whole lot of space. It's 31,000, the starting price, and that also goes for, you know, other ones in similar category. So it's Swallow here. I hope you found the session useful today. Please, if you enjoyed, please like it and leave a comment out just down below. I'm going to be getting back to you regarding your comments, if there's anything I need to attend to. So thank you so much. All the very best. Speak to you later. Bye bye.